Hello, it's Alan here from Mecha at YouTube, bringing you another update in the Hermóðr project. As you know, I haven't touched this for a little while because of other projects. The vlog explains all that. And this video would have been out a few days earlier, but I kind of got drunk on the weekend. Happens. First, I want to go in the background story of the inspiration. It's a Mecha Musume. You guys know I'm really into that, and I really want to get my hand into steampunk, so this project's going to really emphasize on that. It's going through 2 codes of rules, so I'm going to try to mash in as much of a chopped up Palestine high grade as I can without disturbing the Mac forums Mecha Contest rules. So it'll be chopped up in fine pieces that's almost like styrene plating with slight curves or detail and mangled all around it. That is scratch building, you can't really get around that. Though the theme that I really want to get into is Norse mythology, or the Celtic religion and the Vikings. Now, when you think of Vikings, the first thing that comes into mind is the twin horns and the big shields and whatnot, how you train your dragon film. But doing some fairly deep research, I found they're completely different, and I think at the start of each video I'll explain a little bit of the history that inspired me, so that you're not going to have 10 minutes of me talking about a subject that I don't quite understand fully from an educational point of view and just doing some research. This is the wire armature that I've constructed together so far using 1mm chicken wire and epoxy putty. So it's the shape that I want and the rough height. We'll compare it to the face that I'll be using. The legs I won't be. And the war shield. I've also bought some very interesting things, or imported very interesting things. This is the rough size of the standard magnet that I used on the Chisei project. Nothing any bigger than this, which is 1mm by 8mm. It's a good size that can fit almost anywhere, but for supporting larger items I found that it's nowhere near strong enough. So I've imported far bigger magnets. They will be strung together and it will be able to support the figure very sturdily and not fall apart unlike the very fragile Chisei. So that's general size. This is like $10 worth of magnets. Also for the steampunk thing, I've got these in. And these are cogs. These are the larger ones and the smaller ones. All different shapes and sizes. I have ordered in heaps. And that's what's going to decorate the entire body of this, of course, with other mechanical details. Being metal, these will have to be super glued on, but this sort of amazing steampunkish detail and the quality of these parts, I'm very, very excited. But all in all, at the end of this is the frame that I've got so far, and it may not look like much, but there's been a lot in measurements and re-chopping up that armature that I showed near the start of the video, and being able to break up into many parts. The magnet's not for articulation, but for removal of major components for further detailing and painting. It's going to be a lot easier that way and more fun. The big magnets, as I've explained, is really, really helpful. This is going to be a heavy frame of solid putty and metal, and it's just holding together very, very well, and it's got good balance. The feet are big magnets and it's sitting on metal, and the base it's going to be on is going to be the other halves of these larger magnets, 12mm by 2mm I think. So it's going to stand very, very solidly, and again with the Chisei project, this one's I've already overcome the problem. If you're doing larger builds or the magnet supporting a fair amount of weight, bigger magnets will do the trick. Next step is unfortunately the biggest problem I'm going through is I ran out of large magnets. I'm waiting for more to come in from China. I'll be able to slap them on either side of those arms and get the wire for the arms. Flesh out the body to get the shape I want before the major detailing of the Bandai parts. Flesh more of the head out, start sculpting the helmet. And the first accessory is a shield. And this is just a Palestine shield. Nice shape. It's going to be messed with heaps. You're not going to be able to recognise it except for the detail on that rim. I like that. It needs to be a lot bigger for the scale, so I've cut this out of styrene fairly roughly. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, but it doesn't matter because none of this will be symmetrical. It's going to be very different and interesting after my experiments on the Garibaldi, if anybody remembers the styrene lines on that. So it's going to go together like that, and you'll have detail all over the front side and edging. This is probably the last time we'll see this high grade. Again, it'll be pulled apart in many parts and then chopped up. The next video you will see it's in absolute bare minimal pieces as scratch building fodder. Unfortunately, I lost my entry pass, or the little one. I'm too lazy to print out a new one at the moment, so please forgive me. It's on the cabinet at least for the pluggage. In the same camera shot without editing. Not much change. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.